You're standing in line. Nothing is happening. Your phone is in your pocket, and for a moment, you don't reach for it. 5 seconds pass. Something in your chest starts to itch. It's boredom. You've been taught it's a problem to solve. But the real answer is far stranger. Boredom isn't a glitch. It's one of the oldest systems your brain has ever built. Think about the last time you felt truly bored. Restless, empty, like an engine idling with nowhere to go. What did you do? You reached for something. That reflex feels automatic, but it isn't random. It's ancient. Your brain doesn't just want comfort, it wants information. New information. When that flow stops, your brain doesn't relax. It alarms. Dr. John Eastwood, a psychologist at York University, defines boredom as the unpleasant feeling of wanting to engage in something satisfying but being unable to. Notice what that doesn't say. Boredom isn't the absence of stimulation, it's the absence of meaning. You can be surrounded by noise and screens and still feel hollow, because the problem isn't input, it's direction. So where does this come from? Go back. Long before phones, long before agriculture. Picture an early human at the edge of a forest. No task, no threat, just stillness. For you, that might feel like peace. For them, stillness was dangerous. It meant resources weren't being found. Threats weren't being scanned for. Opportunities were slipping by. So evolution made stillness feel bad. Not painful, just uncomfortable enough to push you toward action. That discomfort is boredom. A nudge that says, there's more out there. Go find it. Dr. Robert DeSimone, a neuroscientist who has studied attention for decades, has described it as a resource-finding system, one built to locate food, threats, and opportunities in a shifting environment. Your brain is still foraging. The forest is gone. In its place is everything else. For most of history, boredom had nowhere to go but outward. Into the world. You'd scan the horizon, fix a tool, notice a pattern in the clouds. Boredom led to observation, to curiosity. Where does your boredom lead you now? For most people, a screen. And screens are the most concentrated foraging environment ever built. Every scroll is a tiny search. Every notification, a tiny discovery. Your ancient brain has been handed an environment that never runs out. So if boredom evolved to push you toward discovery, and discovery is now infinite and instant, shouldn't boredom have disappeared? It hasn't. Dr. Wynand von Tilburg, a social psychologist who has researched boredom extensively, found that people can feel intensely bored even while consuming a constant stream of content. Why? Because the ancient system isn't looking for stimulation, it's looking for meaning. Infinite scrolling provides the first without ever satisfying the second. Here's an experiment. Researchers gave people a choice: sit alone for 15 minutes with nothing to do, or sit there and receive a mild shock if they pressed a button. A significant number chose the shock, not because they liked pain, but because doing something, anything, felt better than nothing. That's not weakness. That's your foraging brain, screaming that stillness equals danger. So what happens if you let boredom run its course? Neuroscientists call this the default mode network. Dr. Marcus Rachel, who helped identify it, described it as the brain's resting state, active when attention isn't pointed outward. When you stop feeding it input, your brain doesn't shut off. It turns inward, connects ideas, replays memories, solves problems you didn't know you were thinking about. Boredom isn't empty time. It's the on-ramp to a different kind of thinking, one that rarely gets a chance, because the moment the itch appears, you reach for something that shuts it down. Your modern environment has flipped the equation. The outward path, the screen, is always available, always rewarding. The inward path, the quiet stillness, has become the hardest thing to access. Not because it disappeared, but because it now competes with something engineered to be irresistible. The discomfort you feel in line, in waiting rooms, isn't new. Your ancestors felt it too. The same ancient signal. The only thing that's changed is what you do with it. So next time that itch creeps in, try noticing it instead of escaping it. Just a few seconds longer than usual. Because that feeling isn't a malfunction. It's one of the oldest systems you have, quietly doing exactly what it was built to do. reminding you that something here might be worth your attention. You're standing in line. Nothing is happening. And for the first time, you don't reach for your phone. You just wait. And in that waiting, something ancient finally gets the chance to speak.